What's up, y'all? Want to tap in with y'all real quick. Ain't been feeling my best and stuff, but I wanted to make sure I get a quick little story time in for y'all. Um, this story time is gonna be real fast, but some people might have wondered, well, why is the concept of intricacies of being black in IT? Why is it so large, and how did you come about giving that format? I have been working on this book for those that ain't got it. And you can see how big how the pages are. This is an immaculate sized book, and it covers every basis. It covers every basis. I tried to give it all 9 areas of activity, of people activity possible from the black experience. Um, One of the reasons why it's so large is I felt like the first book was more like an introduction, and then this second book was gonna pretty much cover how we got here, a lot of concepts and solutions. Um, Now, I wasn't sure exactly. The editor that I paid, this sister out of Carolina, that did the editing and stuff for me, I wasn't. I was like, man, it's so many pages, and there were some things I had to cut out because just only for sake of formatting. Otherwise, I would have kept it. So there were some chapters where I was just like, man, I really don't want to get rid of this. But um, I had to make that decision. I really did. I had to make that decision. I had to say, well, some of these are gonna have to go, and then some of these are gonna have to stay. So um, I was looking at a couple different formats. I wasn't exactly sure um, what format I would use because the format, basically the dimensions is dependent upon the pages as well, how many pages you can put for color and things of that nature. So there was a book that I had ordered, the book that uh, all of this fake outrage with Kyrie and all of this, the Hebrews to Negroes book. I ended up buying that book mainly because of a black man was under attack. You know what I'm saying? I said that's another sale. That's another sale for a brother. And I looked at the dimensions of the book because it's a pretty book. I haven't read the book. I cracked it open and took a look at it, whatever. But I said, man, this book has a lot of information in it. Okay. And that's how I got the idea of the dimensions for the size. I knew that the book was going to be well over 400 pages. So I said, I wonder if we could use the same dimension. And if you look at the size of the book, I mean, it's literally like an encyclopedia. If you look at the size of the book, it's almost like a mini encyclopedia. It literally is. So that's how I came about. Well, DP, why is the book so big, and why'd you use that format, and why does it look like this? I said that looks like that would be the easiest format that I could have. Yeah, those dimensions and that formatting was inspired by the Hebrew to Negroes book, the book that all this fake outrage was going about. That's how we got there. So hopefully tonight, depending on how things go, I might end up doing a podcast. There is some things that I've been hearing about. Some news, I think it was from the Defender, I believe it was, where they were talking about they were going to use, I keep getting all these, they were going to use kids for surveillance, doing some testing for artificial intelligence or something of that nature. So I want to cover that article. And I also want to cover, there was some race soldier online that was going off, and he was basically saying, in so many words, black Americans were lazy and immigrants were doing better than them, on some pull your bootstrap up. So this whole circus clown hair fool, he gets up there talking about, black immigrants y'all are doing much better, and this, that, and the third, and it was some video. And so I had to go clear some stuff up. I said, no, you're not going to be talking slick about us at all. No. The reason why a lot of immigrants are here is because of what my ancestors fought for. So they receive an unearned benefit. So we're not going to do that. And it was a whole bunch of sign bowls. Unfortunately, it was a whole bunch of sign bowls up in there kind of saying, well, yeah, it takes a liberal white person to set stuff straight and stuff like that. And I'm like, ain't no way that I could go over to Africa and start doing so-called better than the inhabitants there and start talking slick about them, and they let that ride. So y'all not gonna do that over here. You're definitely not gonna do that. Not happening. If I have something to say about it, I'm definitely gonna say something. And to be honest, there's really no, if they're saying, well, yeah, y'all are probably making more money, or whatever the case may be. The thing is, no disrespect, but they couldn't do that back at the crib. That's why they had to come over here. And more power to them. If they making the money, fine. But you're not going to say, well, you're doing better than us because we're lazy. You couldn't make it back home. You had to come over here to the descendants of the slaves that built the opportunity for you to come over here in the first place. And he was basically, trying to dog whistle them. And a lot of them were like, well, yeah, we doing so much better, and it doesn't matter where you're at. No, yes, it does. Yes, it does. If you're going to talk slick and you're going to say something like that, well, you could have did that in your homeland, but you couldn't do it. So you come over here, and you were able to reap the benefits off of what my ancestors did. So yeah, you're never gonna use that narrative. So I basically was like, hey, look. This white man is basically trying to, I guess, really pit Africans against the foundationals here, and try to big them up. And a lot of the folks in the comments was agreeing with it. So I had to say what I had to say. I'm like, nah, if you're so smart and you're so intelligent, then you could have did that where you was at. So nobody's really hating on you because you came over and you made some money or whatever like that. That's really not the case. But you're not going to say nothing disrespectful. And like I said, I won't let no race soldier tell me, well, yeah, you black Americans are doing way, way, way better than some Africans. The reason why Africa is in the conditions that it is because of people like you, the colonizer, the conquistador. Y'all are the ones that's extracting a lot of the resources. So when he was making comments like that, it went over some folks' heads like, oh, well, you're doing better than these lazy Negroes in black America. They've been here a long time. Or, no. Well, we're not going to play that. We're not going to play that. It's pertinent to the conversation, I'm saying, because they were talking about employment. And really, there really is no, if that comment is true, there's literally no community in the United States of America where the dollar, the black or the African dollar, if they're using the term African immigrant, so that's what I'm following by. That dollar doesn't go around 3 to 5 times before it leaves the community. There's no community you can name. There's no city that you can actually name in this country, in the United States of America, in North America, where they're doing so much better. Because as I said, if you're doing that good, you would be doing great enough to go back home and get it cracking where you're from. If you're so much better and you're so much smarter, by definition, that's how that works. That's osmosis. See, if you could do it, if you're that much better and that much smarter, you don't gotta leave where you're from to go. Sometimes you might have to, pick up and leave to do better. But if you're going to try to say that you're better and you're smarter and you're more specialized, then you should be able to duplicate that where you were at. If that's what the concept is, because that was the argument that they was making. By definition, by default, that's the argument that you're making. And there really ain't no places in the United States of America. Then I asked them, I said, well, somebody name a city. Name one city, one community in the United States of America where the dollar is rotating 3 to 5 times or more and staying in that community. And they couldn't name it because there is not one. Black folks, specifically the descendants of slaves, we still have some places. There's a few places, a few neighborhoods where, there's places in Chicago, Maryland. I mean, there's places where black people are where it's 85% black, 90% black, and they doing all right. They're doing straight. Could the money be flipped over a lot more? Yeah, of course. But I had to also bring up all these places in the 1900s, Tulsa and all of that kind of stuff. And well, you bringing up old stuff? What? The bottom line is we did it. The bottom line is we did it. It was done. My ancestors did that. Tulsa, Nicodemus, North Carolina, all across the whole country. The whole country, there were black neighborhoods and black areas where that money circulated. And the race soldiers burnt it down, annexed these cities, and got a lot of black folks up out of there. And we were less than 50% of the population. Whereas the other people that they were talking about, they're saying they're doing so much better, come from places where they're over 90% of the population. They were over 90% of the population. So, no, you're not gonna. I just thought that was an interesting subject while I was talking about jobs and things of that nature. You're not gonna say that about us. I'm not gonna let nobody say nothing, whether it be online and you ain't gonna do it. I'm not gonna let y'all say that. You button your lips and you respect the freedmen of the United States of America that made it possible for you to get where you're at. Yeah, don't disrespect the true founders of America. Don't do that. You should be happy that you have the opportunity, as I am, because there was people before me that put in the work and put in the effort. So I could be sitting here on this nice, very expensive Apple Watch and Apple phone and making this, which details a lot of that work that was put in. You're welcome. You should appreciate that, as I do. That's why there's so many chapters talking about that, about our folks. So, no, but that's my little tap in for y'all. That's my little story time. I don't know what I'm gonna name this, but that's pretty much it. Go ahead and like, share, subscribe. I appreciate all the new subscribers. Make sure y'all click the notification bell, because some people are saying they're being unsubscribed and whatnot. But I'm gonna cover that. I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that in the podcast. And I'm gonna start researching, and I'm gonna start looking like, okay, what cities, who's doing so much better? Where are these lazy? Where's these lazy black Americans? Why are they not doing so well? That's what they said. That's what they're trying to say. No, we're not having it, man. We're not having it.